Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order of the RTM Rules Technology Subcommittee. The attendance is Mark is on the phone. The rest of us are visible on the screen. Mark, are you going to be able to take notes? Is that okay?
I'll take notes, Mark. You're in the car.
Appreciate that, Mike.
Oh, I didn't realize you were in the car. I just thought you were okay. Good. All right. So the first thing, I would like a motion to change the agenda, move the approval of minutes to after a discussion on the changes to Appendix B, and move the statistics from the Monday's RTM meeting to the executive session. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
I'll make that motion.
Second? Okay. Monica. Okay, Mark and Monica. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, let's get right to it then. Thank you, Frank, for joining us, and you're welcome to stay or get your bagels, whichever approach you want to do. So we've made progress. So the goal is to present at the rules meeting tomorrow discussion about the changing Appendix B for the RTM. And I don't think we're going to vote on it in the next RTM meeting because that's the budget one, but Seth wanted to get all this in place, which is why Frank and I have been working on it. So we have two resolutions from Wayne, because I wasn't sure how we wanted to do the resolutions. And then we have a document we put together on something that would go to the Rules Committee to say, this is what we're doing, this is the process of how we're doing it, which it would also go to the rules. It's sort of the cover letter that usually goes with any kind of resolutions. And I was going to say one more thing about it. Oh, and then the other thing to do is once we as a group approve which resolution or if we give the choice to rules and the draft and the statement, that I would run them by Lisa tomorrow and make sure she's concurring with them and get a statement from her that she concurs with what we're planning on doing. So that's the deal. Okay. So first, what I'd like to do is discuss the resolutions. I don't know. I can share my screen, I hope. Share screen. And Mark will read. Oh, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to share my desktop, and now I have to find the resolutions. They're all the same except for the last paragraph. I'm going to do this one first. This one says, warning shall be given by the town clerk, shall be in writing, and shall state the date, place, time, and agenda for the meeting. The warning and agenda shall be published in a local newspaper according to the time specified in Part 4, Section 3 of the rules. The warning and agenda and resolution shall be posted to the town's website and electronically distributed and optionally mailed to each RTM member. So that's the one that says that we're not specifying whether it's opt-in or opt-out. The reason to do this one is if we change from opt-out to opt-in, then we don't have to go through this resolution. We don't have to change this Section B code. Okay, that's point one. I'm sorry. It'd be nice if I could get these both up on the screen at the same time. See what I can do. Now I just have to find the other one. Sorry.
Wait, Lois, so say that last part again. We don't need to change Appendix B because we're not adding.
No, we need to change it today, but in the future, if we switch from opt-out to opt-in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. I am not sure how I have to do this. Damn. Oh, here, this must be it. Okay. I'm getting there. Sorry. The second one has all the same upfront stuff. And then the last part, the last sentence, well, it adds a second sentence. So here, I do have it up on the screen so you can see it. This one says, the warning and agenda, and resolution shall be posted to the town's website and electronically distributed and mailed to each RTM member. Upon the request of any member of the RTM, the information will be electronically distributed but not mailed to the member. So the second one is saying, is defining opt-out. In other words, and the first one doesn't have any statement about, it just says optionally mailed. So we're looking at it, Mark, I don't know how clear it sounds, on the phone.
I followed that, Lois. Question for you. So the default, if we don't do anything and adopt the second resolution, the second version, the default is it's mailed to everybody. If we do nothing,
Right.
if we take no action at the RTM other than adopt the second version of the resolution.
Well,
Am
Mark,
I understanding that right?
to be clear, it's the second one says that, the information will electronically distributed but not mailed to the member. But we're still going to use the same procedure. I don't think, well, that's to be determined anyway. I guess I should ask first,
Right.
how many who's in favor of opt-out? In other words, we're going to mail them. Default is mail, and people say they don't want it. I thought that was what the group was, but I should ask.
I like this. I like the second one better.
Okay. Are we all in favor of opting out? That's the way we're going to do it. In other words, everybody gets it and then opts out if they don't want it. Correct?
Yeah, that either works.
Okay.
Yeah,
Monica,
that's
you're good
fine.
with that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking that right now it's an adjustment, and for people that are currently on the RTM, this will be a change. But for new members, and eventually everybody will be a new member. I mean, nobody stays on this forever. I don't know. I go both ways.
Oh, but Monica, the way this is written, it says upon the request of any member of the RTM, the information will be electronically distributed but not mailed to the member. But we're going to put out a preference. In other words, you have to, the top one on the screen is opting out. In other words, everybody gets it mailed, and only those that say they don't want it mailed get it electronically.
Okay, right.
Okay.
I see that.
Okay, the bottom one says that, and optionally, it's electronically distributed and optionally mailed. It doesn't say whether we're doing opt-in or opt-out. That's the difference in the resolutions.
Yep. Well, when you went over the first one, Lois, I have to admit I liked that one because it allows more flexibility for the RTM to act as to how that form's what the default's gonna be, whether the default is to mail or not mail. I don't feel strongly about this, but the first one seems to allow for the RTM to act in the future as to which path is the default and what the choice is that can be made on the form. That's all. I think is what I'm understanding.
I agree with you, Mark. Except since the way we wrote it, it doesn't say who's gonna, what the decision is for optionally mailing or not.
Right. Right. It requires further action by the RTM to put the question as to how that question is phrased on the form.
And that's true. That's true. That's exactly true.
Yep. So I'm partial to the first one, but I don't feel that strongly. I think we're giving folks flexibility under either scenario. And it's in effect the same flexibility.
That's the question is if we ever change it to want to allow them to just opt out, if we want to change it so default is we're only doing it electronically, we would have to go in with the second one. We'd have to go in and change the resolution, change the
right.
Appendix B again.
Right. Versus the first one. The first one doesn't require any change, and I personally believe that's where things are going more broadly in our economy. Is things are going virtual already, and so the initial language sort of paves the way for that. But again, not going to go back and forth too much on that.
And the other option is to just present both of these to the RTM, to the Rules Committee on Monday, and let the Rules Committee decide.
I go with Mark. I go with the first one.
Okay, Mike.
So the first one is the one that it says resolution to opt out not resolution to not specify opt-out.
It's this one. It's posted at town's website and electronically distributed and optionally mailed to each RTM member.
All right, so that in
Right.
your code is not specifically opt-out is the one that we're selecting.
Yes. How do you feel about that? You okay?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's the one I thought was 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, that sounds like we're all in agreement.
Frank?
We got,
You're good?
yeah, Frank.
Okay. So that what I'm hearing on this is where I did start recording, right? Can you see?
Yeah, you're recording.
Okay. So we'll go with this one that does not have the second sentence, posted the town's website and electronically distributed and optionally mailed to each RTM member. So we'll go with that for the rules meeting for tomorrow. And we don't need to vote on this stuff, do we? Or do we need to? Well, let me do the other one first before we do it. Let's go over the draft document, and I'm putting up on the screen now. And if you want me, do you want me to read?
Well, I'm glad you've decided. I'm going to step out of the meeting for a little bit. And if I don't get back by the time you adjourn, I wish you all a very happy rainy day. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for your help.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. And I can tell you it's going to stop raining.
I hope to rejoin you in a minute or two.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so do you want me to just quickly read this since Mark's on the phone? And I doubt whether you've had a chance, Mark, to see this?
Sure.
Okay. This is a draft of the statement that would go to the RTM along with the proposed rules of procedure change. I need to clarify this language, whether we're proposing, well, it's proposed change to Appendix B. So anyway, I can fix that. But I'll get that straight. Oh, by the way, I'll say that later. Okay. The RTM Rules Technology Subcommittee is proposing a change to the RTM Rules of Procedure. I think it should be section Appendix B, and I'll get that straight. With respect to the distribution of warnings, agendas, and resolutions for full RTM meetings. The recommendation is to provide all RTM members with this information electronically and allow members to opt out of receiving the information through the mail. This assures that anyone who wants a mailed copy can get it. But for those that do not, time and postage in the town clerk's office can be saved. Additional note, minutes and backup materials are already provided electronically, and I'm just going to add in and available on the town website. So then the next section is process. We propose adding a question to the preference sheets that all members fill out at the start of each RTM session to include a question like, and if you all approve of the question, I'll just say to include this question. That's up to how you feel about it. All warnings, agendas, and resolutions for full RTM meetings are distributed electronically. Do you also want these mailed to you? Yes or no? If a person does not fill this out, they will receive the information by mail in addition to electronically. This is proposed to start with the 2021 session, which starts on November 21st. We appreciate your comments and your support for this change. RTM Rules Technology Subcommittee, Lois Schneider, Chairperson, Mark Adeletta, Monica McNally, and there's no space there, and Mike Wheeler.
I would just propose adding one word at the beginning at the start of each RTM session, add the word organizational session, because it suggests that at every RTM meeting.
Okay, and just wait, let me slow down. Where are you? At the start of the organizational RTM. How about?
Yeah, to be clear, the way I read it, it could be any RTM meeting, they would have the opportunity. And the way we envision it, they're going to have the opportunity once a year, or if they happen to join in progress, they're elected during the year.
Well, we propose any.
That's a good point, Mike.
We
I
propose.
think you referenced the preference sheet, right? I think, Lois, that you referenced the preference sheet as the mechanism for selecting.
Yeah.
Do we dodge it by just referencing the preference sheet and not get into which meeting this preference sheet is circulated at and how you fill out the preference sheet if you joined mid-session? I don't know. You make a good point, Mike. Just trying to figure out how to streamline it.
So what do you, if we could say, we propose adding a question to the preference sheets that all members fill out to include a question like, or we can say, we propose adding a question to the preference sheets that all members fill out at the start of the RTM, at the RTM organizational meeting.
Period. And take out RTM
That works.
session to include question like.
That works.
But leave the question in here or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Monica, you okay with this?
Yeah,
I'll
I'm just-
go over now that I've edited it. Okay. We propose adding a question to the preference sheets that all members fill out at the RTM organizational meeting. But some of them fill it out later though, right? If somebody's new.
Right. Lois, while you're on there, just take out that last, after RTM organizational meeting, take out the other RTM.
Yes, thank you.
Well, but you know what, even if you join midstream, you still fill out the preference sheet. So I think it covers it.
I agree.
So we're going to say, we propose adding a question to the preference sheet, singular, that all members fill out at the RTM organizational meeting.
Or,
Do we have to say that? Why
or
would we
when-
propose
or
adding a
when-
question to
or
the
when they are elected, or if they are, or when they are elected, or if they are elected during the year.
Well, why don't-
I don't even, you guys, I don't even think you need that, because actually you fill out the preference sheet and you turn it in before the organizational meeting. So I would just say,
Check this out, right?
I would just leave it at, fill out the preference sheet.
We propose a
Agreed.
question to the preference sheet that all members fill out.
Yeah, I think that covers
Yes,
it.
Okay. And
that covers it.
Yep, and you're comfortable with the question, all warnings, agendas, and resolutions for full RTM meetings are distributed electronically. Do you also want these mailed to you? Yes, no?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good.
Mike, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Fine with me.
And then the rest of it made sense? So everyone good?
I would put, Lois, I would put this action will start. I wouldn't,
Okay.
looks good.
Okay, so the intention is to show for the meeting Monday night at the rules meeting. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get Lisa to sign off on it, that this works for her, for the town clerk's office. And then send this out to the rules committee before the meeting. So if anyone can read it beforehand, that would be great. But we will present the idea, this discussion, and then the resolution. And the resolution will be the one without, make it optional for mailings.
Hey, Lois, when you talk to Lisa, I would just ask her how she wants to approach it. If people want to change midstream, or if they, they just, well, I guess if they forgot, the default is there. But if they want to change their position, what do they do? I'm sure somebody will ask that. It's something I would ask.
Okay, but I'm assuming the answer is they need to send it to Lisa
Right.
in writing.
Right.
I think you asked her that question at the beginning and she said November would be nice. Making changes during the year would not be so nice.
Right, but it doesn't mean that if on a one-on, but that was, yes. But it doesn't mean that one-offs because somebody joined late or something like that.
Yeah. But she didn't want, as I recall, she didn't want an existing member being able to go back and forth. They made their choice in November and that's what they had for the year.
Right. So just
That's why I
clarify that.
recall. That's why I recall. It's a long time ago and
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
she
what I
might-
recall her saying, just administratively, it's easy to do it in November. After that, month by month, it just becomes busy work.
Yeah, I think that, it's probably infrequent that it'll happen, and I think it'll be fine. I think part of that was how we got to starting it in November. Like, we shouldn't want drips and drabs now. So like November's clean, we all start with the preference sheets, we're good to go, and then go forward from there. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do we need to put that in here that, no, I think we'll just be ready to answer the question. We don't need to.
Yeah, you could put something like you can change your option annually. Too much?
Yeah, I think,
Okay,
I think, I'm really glad you brought it up, Monica, so we're all on the same page on it, and I asked Lisa.
okay,
Okay,
fine, let's leave it at that. Yep.
okay,
The only sentence you might want to add of before November 24th is an RTM member will be able to change their preference, will only be able to change their preference once a year at the November organizational meeting.
I'd rather stay away from that. I have a feeling Lisa's gonna be a little flexible. if
Yeah.
nobody's doing it.
Yeah, I think that's,
Yeah,
yeah, with,
probably unlikely that too many people are going to decide in June, I don't want it. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And if she wants to make a rule about it.
okay.
Okay, everybody good? So I'd like a motion to use this draft as we've discussed to go for rules tomorrow night, and using the resolution that's optionally mailed to each RTM member. I do have to tell you, Wayne was uncomfortable with the optionally mailed because it wasn't specific, but he said he would go with it if that's what we chose. So anyway, so I have motion to do those two documents to go to rules, to go to Lisa first and then rules tomorrow night. I have a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yay, one thing's done. Okay. I think I said we would next do the meeting notes, approving minutes. We had the minutes from the March 13th meeting and the March 13th executive session. I'd like a motion to approve the both sets of minutes.
Moved.
Well, let's make it consistent, Mark.
Oh, okay. Mark's going to second. Okay, Mark?
Can I second my own minutes? I don't know. Okay.
Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, done. Okay, next on the list is a discussion of the RTM representative for the Town Technology Steering Committee. So where we are on that is that Jamie responded to Seth that the RTM should select the representative to the committee. So in that line, that I drafted, this is going to be hard, Mark, because it's really long and I don't know if I want to read the whole thing, but unless
That's okay.
Unless you all want me to. What do you want to do?
If he read it, you don't have to read the whole thing.
I don't think you didn't read it, did you, Mark?
No, I did not.
Because you've been.
Go ahead.
But I
Yeah,
can.
go ahead.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay, and you know what? Stop me if either any of you have changes as I go through. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So we'll do it all at once. To RTM members from, this is a draft, from RTM Rules Technology Subcommittee. And the intention is to run this by the Rules Committee tomorrow night. But this eventually would go to the actual members of the RTM. Date April 27th, read volunteers needed to join the town's new IT Steering and Governance Advisory Committee. We are excited for the opportunity for a member of the RTM to assist the town in technology planning. Background. A new advisory committee was approved by the Board of Selectmen with a mission statement to vet, approve, prioritize, and monitor technology programs and policies, parentheses, for the town, because I added that, throughout their respective life cycles. There will be between 10 and 12 members on the committee from town departments, elected officials, and the public. The RTM has been requested to provide a participant. The committee resulted from interest in planning for effective use of technology for the town and in response to a technology assessment completed by Blum Shapiro. A few of our RTM committees have identified needs for improved technology to cost effectively support the town functions and provide services to residents. This is our chance to assist in the development of these services. Participation. Applicants are requested to have current expertise in IT and the desire to assist the town to improve its services and functioning. Process for participation is for potential volunteers to provide a summary of skills and interests to Seth. I have a feeling Seth's going to make it me, but anyway, I'm going with Seth. Interest to Seth Morton, our RTM moderator, at his email by May, whatever, and we'll pick a date. Okay, I'm going to skip the next sentence because we'll get back to it. The RTM will choose the representative. This is for us to discuss. The RTM will choose the representative after each candidate gives a brief 2-minute description of their interest and experience in an RTM meeting. All candidates not chosen will be referred to the first selectman for consideration on the committee as a representative from the public. Note, in addition, town residents are also needed for the committee, so please extend this request and information to anyone you know who may be interested. Any interested parties beyond RTM members should contact Jamie Stevenson at. And then there's a background information, and it's I'm going to attach the mission statement, and it shows a link to the Blum Shapiro report and a link to the discussion at the Board of Selectmen meeting on November 16th. And then a statement that discussions were also held on January 4th, February 22nd, and March 22nd, but I didn't put links in for that. I'm done.
Thank you, Lois.
Lois, so,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Monica.
So I was just going to say, you changed a few things in the background on this sentence that begins our RTM. I would put various RTM committees have identified.
Okay. In.
There is another way of, if Jamie wants us not to give her a list of pre-screened candidates for her to select.
No, she's not selecting ours.
Right. So the other way to do it, this isn't like the ethics committee where you stand up for 2 minutes and get, this is, I would suggest we think about a second way, and that is candidates let us know if you're interested, and we do a preliminary interview and then recommend one or more to the RTM for their selection. But this job is, to be on this committee, you've got to have a level of expertise that's greater than you can describe in 2 minutes.
So, yeah, I'm totally open on this because the preliminary, so we would, the technology committee would do the preliminary screening, okay? But then on what basis would the RTM?
Yeah.
We would either make the recommendation to Jamie, the technology committee.
Jamie, it's for us.
No, but I said at the end, you said that we forward the name to Jamie for her consideration.
No, that's interested from the public. That's not RTM members, right, Lois?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so,
We're forwarding just anybody that's not on the RTM goes to Jamie.
Well,
RTM people, we vet.
That came forward that shows that we didn't choose will go to Jamie also.
Yeah.
But we're responsible, the RTM is responsible for picking our person. That's the bottom line.
So Mike, what you're really saying is that we need to make sure that the people that are considering this know the depth of knowledge they need. Is that right?
yeah, and they may stand and say, I'm interested and give a 2-minute speech but not know what's involved and realize, oh gee, I don't have that much time.
So maybe we create a form that spells out a little bit what's involved and also let them know the depth of knowledge that's needed. Is that something to consider?
Well, it's pretty much in that document of what the Board of Selectmen, what the charge for the committee is.
Uh-huh.
It's just whether or not you want to do it like we do the ethics committee or pre-screen and then and we may recommend 2 people and then they do the 2 minutes to the RTM and the RTM makes the selection. I'm not saying we make the final selection. I'm saying, we screen and make recommendations to the full RTM for the final candidates.
Right. What do you think, Mark?
Hopefully there'll be more than one candidate.
Hopefully there'll be a candidate.
Right. Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Because Cecil's bought a house in Norwalk, so he's going to be leaving the RTM in 3 months.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
It seems like we should screen. Hopefully there's going to be multiple applicants or interested parties, and that screen would give us the opportunity to answer any questions that aren't apparent. I think Maga brought up a good point. Folks are going to wonder what's the level of commitment here, which is you read the description and not understand the commitment. But that will give us the flexibility to adjust on how many to recommend to the RTM, depending on the number of quality respondents we get.
So we just say that the technology committee will answer questions and screen.
And meet with any candidates.
Yeah, meet with potential candidates.
Meet with potential with the goal of making a recommendation to the RTM.
Right. I like recommendations better than screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's recommendation or recommendations, it sounds less onerous than screen.
Right.
And so is our intent that we will recommend multiple and then the RTM can vote? Is that the expectation?
We'll recommend a candidate or candidates because we don't know what we're going to have.
Right. We'll recommend all qualified candidates we think should be considered. And then all the other ones that aren't selected get referred to Jamie anyway, right?
If they
For
want.
consideration.
If they want to be.
How about
They
we'll
want to.
recommend? How about we recommend a slate? That's pretty open.
There you go. Slate could be one, slate could be multiple. That's good.
Right.
I like that.
So we'd recommend a slate of candidates to the RTM for their consideration.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. We good?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. That moves over. We've done that. So next we're ready to go to executive session, right? Is there anything else that we need to talk about before we move to executive session?
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion to move to executive session?
Moved.
Mark, you're going to second?
Second.
Okay, I am going to stop. I'm going to get rid of this.
Wait, Lois, take a vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Are all in favor of going to executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
I just want to make this smaller. Let's go away. I can get rid of this. Get rid of this. Um, I'm trying to, sorry, I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see. Okay, so now I can stop the recording.